Once again, I would like to request you all to give a huge round of applause to all our moderator and panelists of the session here. We do have Ms. Yuvika Bhandari as our moderator. As our panelists, we do have Mr. Bashantaraj Mishra, Chairman of Temple Tiger Group of Companies, Mr. Ashish Kumar, General Manager of Hyatt Regency Kathmandu, Ms. Prabha Gautam, Burhan Camp Time Mag Covered, and Ms. Ayusha Pershai, CEO of Community Homestay Network. And now it's over to you, Yuvika ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you. I will just go ahead with the panel discussion itself because I think the time is very limited and we are behind the schedule. Good afternoon, Mr. Basanta sir. To start the panel discussion from you. You have been in this industry since the last 4 decades, and you have, seen everything and how tourism has shifted in this country from the, you were pioneers in sustainable and conservation tourism and how it is now. So I would like to see what your experiences have been till now and what challenges you faced in this industry.
Thank you, Yuvika. Since she is junior to me, so I like my sister, so I call her Yuvika, not Yuvika ji. What I will say is, okay, like the former speakers have spoken so well, and they said, we have only one industry, I call it tourism industry, which has complete comparative and competitive advantage. There is no other industries. The former speaker has also spoken saying that, okay, the carpet came and the garment came, and he was scared that maybe, probably, we'll also lose our impact on tourism. No, we will not lose it. So we're talking about hospitality industry. If you look at the hospitality industry's record of ours, from 4th to 12th BCE, from the trading period till today, we have earned name and fame as in ecotourism or in adventure tourism in hospitality industry as well. During the time of our trade with Tibet and India, during the time of Malla era from 7th to 12th between Lichavi and Malla, and 2004-9 BCE, I think when King Ashoka visited Nepal, at that time, there is no historical background, no facts, findings, but there is a saying he visited Kathmandu as well. But having said it, before Nalanda University was burnt, some Chinese scholars has mentioned, even King Ashoka mentioned that if somebody has to learn about how to look after the guest, if they want to learn how to do satkar, sanman, you should go to Nepal. But it doesn't have any historical background. So tourism has potential probabilities. And then, if we play our cards correctly, as everybody has said, 5 million tourists is not a big number. We started our tourism in 1950, when Maurice Herzog and Louis Lanchel scaled Annapurna. Then the book was written called Annapurna, which was published at that time, 2 million copies in 40 languages. And that put us in the map of tourism in Nepal, okay, for adventure tourism, for which we still have a monopoly, Then second, 1953 saw Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay scale the Mount Everest. Then we are fully in tourism map. That is how many people are aware of it. Why only Pokhara, Kathmandu and Chitwan later on? Pokhara and Kathmandu became a destination because for Annapurna side, Pokhara was the base, and for Everest side, Nepal was the base. So now, having said it, what I would like to say is, you have asked me a right question. We started our tourism in 1950, and then in 1955, if you recall, Thomas Cook brought the first organized tour in Nepal. And that was the first time the visa on arrival was issued. त्यो बेलामा चाहिँ हुकुम प्रभाङ्गी भन्दा प्रिन्स वसुन्धराले with Boris Leshnovich फर्स्ट चाहिँ हाम्रो अर्गनाइज ग्रुप त्यो बेलामा आएको भने अहिलेसम्म पनि we are struggling for what 1 million tourists. 2011 we declared 1 million tourists. We reached that number in 2019 only. त्यसकारण के भने what we really have to do is, where is our drawback? As you have rightly said, I've been working for more than 4 decades. But whatever my former predecessor, the people who used to speak when I had joined, I'm speaking the same language. Same connectivity, same infrastructure. So if you correct few things properly, we sure can reach the desired target and the quality tourist.
I want to add further to that. जस्तै कि तपाईँको अहिले ग्लोबल ट्रेन्डमा चाहिँ सस्टेनेबल टुरिज्म कन्जर्भेसन गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने आइरहेको छ त्यसमा तपाईँहरूको रिजोर्ट जुन चाहिँ टेम्पल टाइगरले चाहिँ पहिला नै देखि गरिरहेको र अहिले पनि हजुरको कावासोतीमा भएको प्रपर्टीको नाम ग्रिन जङ्गल विच गिभ्स द्याट भाइब्स सराउन्डेड बाई लस ग्रिन ट्रिज अनि तपाईँहरूको इभन द आर्किटेक्चर पनि एसिज यु हेभ स्टिल रिटेन द्याट लोकल आर्किटेक्चर to dot. So, like, how do you see your property or like
this is
present?
Very pertinent question. The dimension has been shifted after COVID. Tourism ko euta fear, euta dimension change ho. के भने carbon free, यो climate change र sustainable tourism र eco tourism ले ठुलो मार्केट पायो र यो मास टुरिज्म भन्नेलाई चाहिँ पिपल आर हेटिङ ना दे डोन्ट वान्ट टु गो टु द्याट प्लेस र नेपालको प्रडक्ट के छ भने वाट एभर हेज बिन डिमान्डेड बाई द 67% of the population of travelers. This is not my saying. This is the saying of UNWTO, WTTC and Ecotourism Society. उनीहरूले भनेकोमा चाहिँ हाम्रो राइट प्रडक्ट छ भनेपछि दिस इज द हाई टाइम वी क्यापिटलाइज र अहिले हामीले चाहिँ कसरी सस्टेन गरेका छौँ त when we came from inside to outside, that is different thing. नेपाल अघि विनोदजीले भन्नुभयो हामीलाई जहिले पनि एसिया अफ अफ्रिका भनेर भन्थ्यो and we were the pioneer in wildlife tourism. We are pioneers in many things, in hospitality industry, in mountaineering, in ecotourism, okay, part of it wildlife tourism. भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ के भने हामी पाइनर भएको चिजहरू हाम्रो चिजहरूलाई हामीले वी कुड नट नर्चर ठिक छ पिपल डु मेक अ मिस्टेक केनिया पनि यस्तै भएको थियो केनिया हेज करेक्टेड दे करेक्टेड देयर वाइल्ड लाइफ टुरिज्म इट बाउन्स इट ब्याक अब अर्को कुरा हामी केमा लडिरहेछौँ भने वेदर इट्स अ नम्बर अफ प्राइस फर द्याट यु हेभ टु नो योर प्रडक्ट वाट नेपाल इज प्रमोटिङ नेपाल क्यान नट टेक 200 million tourists or 100 million tourists. What we are promoting is a pristine nature, our heritage sites, our Himalayas, which has a carrying capacity in its one place. त्यस कारण के भने हामीले चाहिँ अब it's very subjective. What price is correct? अघि एउटा सजेसन पनि आयो त्यसमा चाहिँ के भने एउटा गभर्नमेन्टले बेन्चमार्क राखिदियोस् भनेर मलाई भन्नुहुन्छ भने त गभर्नमेन्ट इन्भल्भ नहोस् गभर्नमेन्ट सुड नट बी इन्भल्भ हामी आफै प्राइभेट सेक्टरहरूले आफैले सल्लाह गरेर वी हेभ टु टेक द राइट प्राइस त्यस कारण के भने हामीलाई क्वालिटी टुरिस्ट हाउ वी डिफाइन द्याट इज अ डिफ्रेन्ट थिङ द्याट्स अ डिफ्रेन्ट होमवर्क तर हामीलाई क्वालिटी टुरिस्ट चाहिन्छ र हामीले त्यो ल्याउन सक्छौँ
Thank you, Vasant uncle. Can I say uncle in the forum as well? That's how I address him. He's a friend of my father, and I've known him since a long time. And rightly said, Nepal was pioneer in so many different tourism products, but we have lost that to our neighboring countries right now. Even rafting was started in Nepal, and till now, the rafters, like the guides in the rafting, go from Nepal to other countries. In Dubai, they're offering more than 3 lakhs for a Nepalese to be a rafting guide. So that's the situation of Nepal right now. So I would like to go further to Mr. Ashish Kumar. Good afternoon. Mr. Ashish Kumar, looking at your profile, you have done like you have been in this hotel industry since a long time and have worked in India, and now you are in this chain hotel in Kathmandu. So what do you think, like, is there any differences that you find while working in Nepal and in India?
Right, good question. Good evening, everyone. The best part to work in the Nepal is the hospitality. In India, we understand that a lot of relationships are based on very commercial. But the moment you come to Nepal, you see that people are so genuine while delivering services. Even if you don't know the language, like I see my colleagues interacting with Korean tourists or the Japanese tourist, it's so beautifully articulated in their body language that they connect with each other. So that's something very important that I feel the warmth that the people have over here, it definitely supersedes back home in India. So we take very pride in that while handling with the colleagues at our hotel in Kathmandu. And they are genuinely warm. So that's very important. So the game that we play in our hotel, you know, doing business very ethically and intelligently, it gives more fun when you deal with the colleagues who are so nice. So it gives you a different energy when you deal with good soul and a good human being. You know, so we play things very differently. So that's something very different. When you interact with your business partner, again, there also, emotions plays a big role. So even if we are doing business, yes, we have in our back of our mind that we are into a commercial game. But when we are doing business, a little bit of sentiments and emotions with empathy that you imbibe while having business discussions gives you the cutting edge while closing any of the business deal. A bit of emotions, care and empathy and respecting the other person makes hell lot of difference here as compared again back India. So that's something very beautiful that I find it over here.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. And do you think it is a plus point that we are so much sentimental? Like, can we, give this message around the world to promote Hyatt in Kathmandu? Have you done that till now?
Being natural as you are is a great character of a good human being. So at the end, it matters that how good human beings are. It definitely supersedes every other thing. Yes, what I have to comment over here in Nepal, whatever I have understood, it's very important that not to be content and keep challenging your status quo. What I understand, there was a movement of traffic, tourists from various countries, from our statistics understanding of geo-penetration. Some markets have revived and some has yet to revive, which we are very closely monitoring it. However, I understand that when we see all these things, it becomes so important to do the business differently so that we rule our business in the competition that we are, yet keeping our ethics and integrity strong. We do justice to every sector, every vertical, every bubble that we see open, that comes from wellness, sustainability, and we are consistent in that. It is also important, after understanding the Kathmandu market, that to have a business continuity plan and a resilience plan which is very sharp. COVID has taught us that we can't avoid this particular understanding of having a great continuity plan. So we keep doing brainstorming, we keep exercising ourselves, we try to make our business entity as very sustainable business unit, so that if anything such emergency of natural calamity that happens, we have a resilience plan to come back quickly. That can act as a springboard for us.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I would like to ask Ms. Prabha, first of all, congratulations for being featured in Times.
Thank you, Vikazi.
Prabha, I was just wondering while looking at your resume, like I said before, you are an engineer in hydropower, yet you joined tourism industry. So what motivated you to come, join tourism industry like everyone is maybe like saying like tourism is not so profitable after COVID, but still you came and joined this industry. So what motivated you?
Well, that's a short story of my life. Our generation, I don't know, so we grew up like having a parental pressure of like either you got to join medicine school or engineering school, you know. So medicine was completely out of my thing. So I decided I would rather do engineering. I think a traveler inside me thought that engineer would be a better choice than computer engineering. किनभने त्यो बेला एज अ फिमेल इट वुड बी बेटर टु लाइक डेस्कमा बसेर गर्ने काम छ भने बेटर हुन्छ भनेर हाइड्रो पावरमा चाहिँ फिल्डमा जानुपर्ने होइन सो मनसुनमा चाहिँ त्यो हाइड्रोको फ्लो नाप्नुलाई वी ह्याड टु गो टु दिस अलिकति हिली रिजनमा त्यो रन अफ द रिभर प्रोजेक्ट्सहरूको लागि अनि आई फेल इन लभ विथ लाइक नेपाल होइन त्यो बेला अलिकति ट्राभल गर्नु पाएँ अलिकति एक्सपोजर पाएँ होइन अनि आई वर्क एज अ हाइड्रो पावर इन्जिनियर फर अ वाइल बिजनेस डेभलपमेन्ट सेक्टरमा बुटोल पावर कम्पनीमा गरेँ एन्ड देन आई डिड माई एमबिए हाइड्रो पावर इन्डस्ट्री वाज भेरी स्ट्याग्नेन्ट एट द्याट टाइम होइन धेरै पोलिटिकली उ थियो सो आई वान्टेड टु डु समथिङ अफ माई ओन अनि बिइङ एकदमै ट्राभलर आफै आई डिसाइडेड लाइक ओके लेट्स सी रिसर्च गरौँ भनेर हेर्दै गर्दै जाँदाखेरि वी आइडेन्टिफाई देयर लाइक एकदमै धेरै ग्याप्स इन नेपालको टुरिज्ममा होइन जहाँ चाहिँ गर्न सक्ने पोटेन्सियल धेरै देखेर अनि द्याट्स हाउ आई केम इन्टु ट्राभल बिजनेस
मेरो विचारमा तपाईँको अहिले तिनवटा प्रपर्टी छ होइन एउटा बुरान भयो एउटा पोखराको एउटा निश कटेज
हजुर
and then you are doing
also Loxy Tree is run by my family, yes.
अनि just तपाईँको maybe that hydropower engineer in you, the बुरानको हामीले लोकेसन हेऱ्यो भने it's like middle is a kind of an island. हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मनसुनमा त्यो बगौला जस्तो देखिन्छ होइन
हजुर
but like it's beautifully placed. अनि तपाईँहरूको जुन मोटो थियो like zero concrete, zero waste, all recyclable water, and then guest आएपछि मात्र tent लगाउने And your concept, like, how did you move forward? Like, were there any challenges? Like, it's a very different concept for Nepal.
I have a story, you know. My brother, younger brother, Manoj Gautam, he's a conservationist, which is wildlife conservation masa, and he's always been passionate about that. And he tourism you know. And right before COVID, he came to me and he said that, you know, we need to protect a corridor, which is very crucial in terms of wildlife conservation, because it's a private land which Boli he heard that some group were planning to build a casino there, I know, on the river island ma and the animal or that would be a hindrance. So let's protect this land bonera त्यहाँबाट सुरु भयो हैन so we acquired that private land अनि त्यो गरिसकेपछि चाहिँ let's create एउटा MVP जस्तो हैन एउटा model जस्तो where say we don't have to do destruction to create a premium market that we're talking about right now हैन जसलाई चाहिँ हामीले concrete धेरै गर्नु पर्दैन हैन we can सबै stakeholders like community लाई पनि engage गराएर चाहिँ we could do something if we can show something हुन्छ नि example जस्तो भनेर that's how we started हैन त्यो बेला we had no idea that we would set up a camp or anything हैन we would do something that would like be very greed free and very carbon neutral खालको केही गर्छौं भन्ने थियो अनि त्यसपछि चाहिँ क्याम्पको आइडिया आयो हैन अहिले पनि टाइम्समा अस्ति आउँदाखेरि हैन अब all the journalists I heard that they ran to see के हो त्यो टाइम्सले के कभर गर्यो but there was nothing हैन there was a plain ground I know there's nothing so yeah त्यसरी चाहिँ सुरु भयो त्यो
Thank you. I'll just move on to Ms. Ayesha now. Ayesha, you have been CEO of Community Homestay Network. Community Homestay Network, again, your background as well. I was talking with you earlier. You are from an NGO background, and then you shifted to tourism. It was quite fascinating. And now I've seen that CHN has partnered with USAID, and there's Easy Mode, and even like before they, like you all won Booking.com award, like that. So did your background in NGOs help you to garner all this partnership? And how has this partnership helped to improve the properties, like all the community properties that you're looking after?
Thank you so much. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me here. When I saw the summit's name, it was Hotelier Summit, and I was a bit confused, like, am I the right person to be here? But since in Community Homestay Network, we actively promote community tourism to be included in the wider tourism industry and not to take it as a niche market, I think this is a really good platform for me to come here and talk about what we've been doing. So thank you so much. So to answer your question, yes, I come from a development background. And even not just me, my family comes from a development background. So working in a private sector, especially in a tourism industry, was never a dream, let's say like that. So my dream is, and was, not is, was to always, I think I always saw UN agencies as my dream. And I had this opportunity to even work for them in many NGOs, INGOs, multinational companies. But I think something was always missing. Even my education background being in international development, we talk a lot about sustainability. Since I did this crucial part of my undergrad and graduate when we shifted from Millennium Development Goal to Sustainable Development Goal. So a lot of goals talk about the sustainability of any destination or of developing countries like ours. But I always had this question, how are the projects sustainable? How do local people take the ownership? So when this opportunity came by, actually it came by during a very crisis time, during COVID. I've been here for around 4 years now. So when it came and it showed me the prospect of sustainability, how local people will take in charge of their project, how this will benefit their economy. So this really put all my perspective, and as cliche as it sounds, but I got my missing puzzle. So tourism industry gave me that, I think, hope, resilience. Even during the pandemic, the industry was looking forward to how to sustain it, how to work for the communities, how to bring in people, how to promote the country itself. When a lot of industry were shut, a lot of them lost their job, but I think on a contrary, we also got chance to promote Nepal in a very different way, like sustainably, and that's the growing trend, and I think we should really tap on to that. And to your next question, I think the development partners, like you mentioned, USAID or EC Mode, have been looking forward to more on entrepreneurial building side when they're not just trying to give funds these days. The funding landscape has also changed as the developing countries are evolving, and now we're going to graduate in 2026, so I think that's a very important landmark decision. Even USAID didn't used to support trade and entrepreneur building before. They used to work a lot on health, sanitation, education part, but now they set up, like 3 years ago, trade and competitiveness angle to it. And we are one of the first grantee, like collaborating matching grant, and now the concept of matching grant has come. So the private sector, they are trying to engage a lot of private sector. So I'm not the one who attracted it. I think it's the whole landscape, how it's been evolving. It attracted, and then how we have been working with the communities that attracted it. But definitely my experience, I think I'm able to sustain them. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. Further to that one, like your CHN Community Homestay Network, the vision initially was to empower women, and we have been doing that very nicely. हाम्रो यो कस्तो भन्दाखेरि टुरिज्मले चाहिँ रोजगारी प्रवर्धन गर्न, रोजगारी दिनको लागि चाहिँ एउटा मेन इन्डस्ट्री नै हो नेपालको लागि। त्यसमा पनि वुमेनहरूले चाहिँ पहिला कामहरू नपाउँदाखेरि होमस्टे कन्सेप्टमा चाहिँ उहाँहरू नै ओनरसिप लिएर गर्दाखेरि हजुरको यसमा चाहिँ के छ होला आफ्नो सुझावहरू वा यसमा तपाईँको एक्सपिरियन्स?
Sure. To add a bit further to it, so we're working with 36 communities across Nepal, from far western part of Nepal to eastern part of Nepal, and in total we have 352 households, creating jobs for more than 1,500 individuals in the community. So the name itself gives something, community homestay. So we directly work to promote and market community homestays in all the region, but it's much more than an accommodation service. It's more on the experiential side of it. So a lot of community members that do not even cater the accommodation facilities are provided the job opportunities. So that's one part. And going back to the question, 80% of the homestay enterprise owners are women. So I think that's where we are working on. And when we say women empowerment, I think all women in this room can agree with it. Our scenarios are very different. We come from very different background, different privileges, but we are often put into one basket. And we are considered one method will solve all the problem. So in Community Homestay Network, I think we're trying to customize and tailor-make the attention we are providing to each homestay owners and women that we're working with. I think that's our main focus. And from 2012 to now, the journey has been not always full of happy endings. There are a lot of challenges. There are challenges when the community members are so resistant that women are not allowed to open a bank account. But then we have to have a lot of dialogue, a lot of meeting, and then have them have it. So while saying this, so for some, women empowerment might be just opening a bank account, but for some, building up the confidence or interacting or being in platforms that can amplify. So I think in tourism industry, especially as an industry, we are really proud that more than 50% of the workforce is women, but I think we should question more, like how many of us are in the leadership role. Because compared to other industries, yes, women are more representative when it comes to tourism industry, but if we look at the leadership role, one women CEO equals to 20 male CEOs in tourism industry. So I think we should really dig it further. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's the truth, the reality. There are early, like we can see even in airlines, like in both of you, you are founder and CEO of a well-renowned bodies, you know. In airlines, let's hope it will be even better in future. I would like to come to Basanta Uncle as well. America discussion past and future one as well. Past the has a present pani early discussion magarium. The future ma tourism lai lana ka government, private, even your partners organization, what do you expect from them? Like, what should we do to improve it?
पास्टको कुरा त हामीले गरिहाल्यौँ पास्टमा हामीसित सक्सेस स्टोरी सिवा केही पनि छैन टुरिज्ममा हैन अब प्रेजेन्टमा अहिले मैले यसो अगाडि बसेको मान्छेहरू हेर्दा बिने बहिनी भनौँ लामिछानेजी सुरेश भनौँ just to name a few Arun our Deepak has come back he knows what actually is the problem के त टुरिज्म बोर्डको के प्रब्लम हो इन्सेप्सनदेखि त्यसको पहिलो कागजै भनौँ न म अनुप्राणाले लेखेको हो वास्तवमा लेट अनुप्राणा र हामीले र त्यो कुन चाहिँ सोचले आयो कसरी आयो र त्यो कति इफेक्टिभ र कति फाइदाजनक त्यो हामीलाई थियो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ त्यसले देखायो पनि टुरिज्मको फ्युचर एकदमै ब्राइट छ प्रोभाइडेड यो चाहिँ के भने गभर्नमेन्टले एउटा कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रो कति 2000 इफ आई डोन्ट फर्गेट लुब्रेकले लेखेको जुन किताब थियो दीपक करेक्ट मी व्हिच इयर ही हैज रिटन आई थिंक 2006 or 2004 कहिले लेखेको हो त्यो बेलामा लेखेको कुरालाई पनि हामीले फुलफिल गरेनौँ हैन र पाटाले एउटा पोखरामा टास्क फोर्स टिम बनायो जे उसले भनेको थियो हामीले त्यो उल्टो गर्यो च्याङमाईले ठ्याक्कै त्यो उल्टो गर्यो त्यसकारण के भने देयर आर स्मल थिंग्स टु बी करेक्टेड इन टुरिज्म here हामी isolationमा tourism will never flourish tourism always need a support of aviation यिनीहरू चाहिँ एउटा कोइनको दुईटा सिक्का हो। जस्तो लेट मी कोट अगेन टु मार्को पोलो। डाम्लरले गएर मार्को पोलोले चाहिँ फर्स्ट ट्राभल एजेन्सी इस्टाब्लिस गर्दाखेरि उसले पहिला अप्रोच डाम्लरलाई गर्यो, बेन्च होइन त लाइम चाहिँ अहिले बेन्चलाई उसले अप्रोच गरेर के भने मलाई चाहिँ युरोपमा टुरिज्म फ्लोरिस गर्ने हो भने मलाई बस सर्भिस चाहिन्छ, कोच चाहिन्छ। त्यसकारण चाहिँ के भने ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन इज अ भाइटल इस्यु। र हामीले अहिले किन फ्युचर चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ डार्क बनाइरहेछौँ भने बिकज अफ कनेक्टिभिटी। अब कनेक्टिभिटीको कुरामा अहिले अब 8 अघि कुरा निस्क्यो, प्रवक्ताले भन्नुभयो 8 बजीदेखि 10 बजी एयरपोर्ट बन्द हुन्छ, यसले हामीलाई अप्ठ्यारो पार्छ भनेर। लेट्स कन्भर्ट दिस क्राइसिस इन्टु अपर्च्युनिटी। अब हामीहरू लाग्नु पऱ्यो, तिमीहरू गराउनु पऱ्यो, किनभने हामीले दुईटा त्यति राम्रो एयरपोर्ट बनाएको छौँ। त्यो एयरपोर्ट चलाउन सकेनौँ भने त्यो एयरपोर्टको दोष, द्याट इज आवर फल्ट। इफ यु हेभ अ नाइस कार एन्ड इफ यु क्यान ड्राइभ इट, इट्स नट द फल्ट अफ अ कार, इट्स अ कार अफ द ओनर, इट्स अ कार अफ द ड्राइभर। त्यस कारण त्यो दुईटा एयरपोर्टलाई हामीले 75% अफ द लेबर मार्केट इफ यु क्यान सिफ्ट इट, गभर्मेन्टले कमिट गरेको कुरा गभर्मेन्टले दियोस्, के फेसिलिटिज दिन्छु भनेको छ, अरू कसरी दिन सकिन्छ, लेट्स हेभ अ बोथ क्यारेट एन्ड द स्टिक इन आवर ह्यान्ड। त्यो चलाएर यो जुन स्लट बाँकी छ यो स्लटलाई हामीले लिएर आउन सक्यौँ भने, फ्लाइट ल्याउन सक्यौँ भने त हामीलाई नम्बरको प्रब्लमै हुँदैन नि। आन्ट यु असेम्ड अफ आवरसेल्फ। आज हाम्रो चाहिँ नेसनल क्यारियर फ्राङ्कफर्ट, प्यारिस, लन्डन उड्थ्यो, लुफ्तान्सा आउँथ्यो, अस्ट्रियन एयरवेज आउँथ्यो भने हामीसित युरोपसित कनेक्टिभिटी नै छैन। वी डोन्ट ह्याभ इट। अल मार्केट इज बेस्ड अन लेबर। हाम्रो लिएर आउने भनेको खाइ एउटा थियो, बल्ल बल्ल फेरि आउनु लाग्यो, द्याट इज भेरी गुड न्युज। त्यस कारण हाम्रो बटल नेक इज अलवेज अ कनेक्टिभिटी, अरू छैन। अघि हामीले कम्पेरिटिभ एडभान्टेज र कम्पिटिटिभ एडभान्टेजको कुरा गऱ्यौँ, त्यो छँदैछ। अब त्यस्तै के भने सर्भिसमा अघि विनोदजीले कोट गर्नुभयो, सारा संसारभरि नेपालीले गएर काम गरिरहेछ भने वी आर सेकेन्ड टु नन इन सर्भिस। कुनै बेला पनि सर्भिस सेक्टरमा हामीलाई कम्प्लेन आएको छैन होला। जीवाजीले भन्नुभयो म्यान पावर यहाँ बढी कन्ज्युम हुन्छ, सायद अब हामीले चाहिँ राम्रो ट्रेनिङ, प्रपर ट्रेनिङ दिन सकेनौँ होला, अथवा चाहिँ टेक्निकल फेसिलिटिज हामीसित भएन होला। वी आर नट द्याट एडभान्स इन टेक्निकल साइड। त्यसको बापु चाहिँ के भने हामीलाई वी नो आवर प्रब्लम फर लङ टाइम। त्यस कारण हाम्रो कनेक्टिभिटीलाई हामीले यदि इम्प्रुभ गऱ्यौँ भनेदेखि वी हेभ अ भेरी ब्राइट फ्युचर। अब तैपनि अहिलेको उसमा इन्भेस्टमेन्ट कति छ? आई थिङ्क झन्डै 2.25 खरब रुपियाँ होटल इन्डस्ट्रीमा मात्रै छ। एन्ड अपार्ट फ्रम द्याट अनदर 2.50 खरब आर इन अदर सेक्टर्स अफ टुरिज्म। त्यस कारण इन्भेस्टमेन्ट पनि पुगेको छ, इन्टरनेसनल चेनहरू आएका छन्, उनीहरूले टेक्नोलोजी ल्याएको छ। अब सुरेश सरले हाटिया ल्या कति भयो, 25 वर्ष 30 वर्ष होइन ल्याएको छ। उनीहरूले नयाँ नयाँ टेक्नोलोजी हाम्रो मान्छेलाई ट्रेन गरेका छ। त्यस कारण चाहिँ के भने वी हेभ अल काइन्ड अफ प्लस पोइन्ट फर टुरिज्म र वी डोन्ट निड टु वरी। आई विल इन्करेज all the investors who ever want to invest in tourism, they will not go wrong if they play the card correctly. त्यस कारण चाहिँ के भने खालि हाम्रो चाहिँ मेजर भाइटल बोटल नेक भनेको इट इज अ कनेक्टिभिटी एन्ड अफ कोर्स इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर, जुन अहिले यसलाई चाहिँ गुड साइडमा पनि लिउँ, बिस्तारै हिँडे पनि पुगिन्छ। बाटो त भन्दैछ, भन्ला नि एक दिन बन्यो भने त राम्रो भइहाल्छ। थ्याङ्क यू।
थ्याङ्क यू वसन्त अङ्कल। हामीहरूको कनेक्टिभिटी जस्तै हाम्रो ह्यान्डको प्रेसिडेन्ट विनायकजीले पनि भन्नुहुन्छ 35 लाखको हामीसँग क्यापेसिटी छ, तर हाम्रो अहिले गेस्टहरू आइरहेछ 10 लाख। र 10 लाख किन आइरहेछ त नेपालमा? अब 12 लाख भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो टिआइएको क्यापेसिटी नै त्योभन्दा हामी 90%मा अपरेसनमा आइसक्यौँ भन्दाखेरि हद्दै हो भने 10% बढ्दाखेरि त्यो हामीले 35 लाखको रुम क्यापेसिटीलाई फिल गर्न सक्ने त अहिलेको टिआइएलएलमा त सक्दैन। हजुरहरुवाज चाहिँ पोखरा र भैरवाको एयरपोर्ट हामीले अपरेसनमा नल्याएसम्म त्यसको अप्सन छैन। र बाई सर्फेस आउने गेस्टहरूलाई पनि बल्ल अहिले एउटा नाकामा चाहिँ भिजा, थर्ड कन्ट्रीलाई भिजा दिने आएको छ इन्डियाबाट आउँदाखेरि भन्दाखेरि अरू पनि हामीले बाई सर्फेस त्यो रिमेनिङ गेस्टहरूलाई चाहिँ भाइ इन्डिया भए पनि लिएर आउन सक्ने। किनभने हाम्रो बोर्डर एरियामा त ब्युटिफुल एयरपोर्ट्सहरू बनेको छ इन्डियामा पनि, त्यसलाई हामीले युटिलाइज पनि गर्न सक्छौँ होला। अन्त रोड कनेक्टिभिटी पनि हामीले बेटर गर्नुपर्छ जस्तो लागेको छ। र यो भन्दै अहिले टुरिज्म पोलिसीमा अघि पनि प्यानल डिस्कसनमा आएको थियो भन्दा अगाडिकोमा यसपालिको टुरिज्म नीतिमा टुरिज्मलाई चाहिँ इन्डस्ट्रीमा राख्ने भन्ने एउटा पोइन्ट देखेको थिएँ र नाटाले गरेको हाम्रो फोकस ग्रुप डिस्कसन्सहरूमा यसमा हामीले डिस्कसन पनि गरेको थियौँ र त्यस्तै गरी नेपाल एयरलाइन्सको एयरक्राफ्ट किन्नमा बरु डिफ्रेन्ट कमिटी बनाएर यो अख्तियारको जुन झन्झट भइरहेको छ र गभर्मेन्टको यो कार्यविधिहरूले जुन रोकिरहेछ तिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ बेटर वेमा हामीले कसरी सल्भ गर्न सक्छौँ हाम्रो टुरिज्मको लागि भनेर भइरहेको छ त्यो चाहिँ मैले राम्रै पोइन्ट देखिरहेको छु र त्यसबाहेक म आयुषाकोमा आएँ अघि मैले भनेको थिएँ यो पार्टनर्सहरूले चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ टुरिज्मको लागि हामी फ्युचरमा जानको लागि कसरी सपोर्ट गर्न सक्छ होला मेबी ट्रेनिङ्सहरू दिएर यो हुन्छ कि अरू केमा जस्तो तपाईँलाई लाग्छ
So I will be speaking based on our experience with current engagement. So yes, definitely development sector but aune first point how they can support community is always training. Yes, that is much needed. Training is very much needed. Capacity build garnu parcha euta service standard sama lagnalai pani. Tara what's more needed is marketing and promotion. So even if we work with development partners, I think we took a very huge stand on that. Our team took a very huge stand on that because a lot of funding was just directed towards the training part. But we really took a stand and say, let's put marketing, digital marketing campaigns in this support as well. Because until and unless we promote that place, the training will be gone for waste. Like we train the communities, but we cannot provide them with travelers. How would they practice that training? So that was one of our stand. And another was inviting journalists and influencers. So recently in May, we did this big Community Connect campaign where we invited influencers, tour agents, and everyone to visit some of our community homestays. But what we did was we are very happy to share that we collaborated with a lot of hotels as well. In Kathmandu, we collaborated with a lot of hotels, even in Bardia, in Pokhara. So a lot of hotels were included when we did Community Connect. And the beautiful result, I think that was one of the happy things that we did as a part of collaboration with hotels. They were very generous to give us like sponsored placements when the journalists were there. And they didn't expect anything. And when one of the journalists returned back, she published like a full page article on Baburmal Villas. It is published in August edition in Malaysian Airlines in flight. So that was not as per of our deliverables, I think, but the standard we give, the service we give really impressed her. So I think if we collaborate and if some of the organization present here, industry members present here, have this opportunity to collaborate with international agencies or funding partners, I think we should really put forward the agenda of marketing and how we can promote it digitally. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. Moving on to Mr. Kumar. Like the future trend that we are seeing right now is maybe for us, chain hotels, pleasure tourists, and then the use of AI tools, use of mobile check-in without any, AI and VR utilization for marketing. So what is Hyatt doing and how do you think the future scenario would be in this tourism landscape?
So that's something is the game changer now. And Hyatt has been very proactive by taking up some of the focus hotels wherein we launched a lot of AI technologies wherein starting from the allotment of the rooms. So even you can do a pre-check-in before even you enter the hotel. So there are various communications in the pre-arrival stage that Hyatt establishes with our guest, and so that everything is facilitated quickly, and they have multiple choices, even in terms of the views of the room and the short descriptions that we do. People can see it very handy. Number one. Number two, it's the encoding system of the key technology that also you can do it on your mobile phone. Yeah, so those are something that we are moving it very fast in terms of technology. There are many hotels wherein electronic automated systems, starting from the conservation of water in the washrooms to the WCs, and even the panel lights are all based on AI technology. So we are moving very consciously, very judiciously, and thoughtfully, so that we do justice to the sustainable programs that the entire world is participating. That can be a climate change, that can be a little bit of a learning that can be imparted to all our colleagues. So we are moving very fast in terms of AI, so that we are in line with the modern travelers. And definitely this is a segment wherein people come from a holiday, so their needs and wants are very different from the commercial travelers who visit the city hotels. So we understand, we do some empathy interviews with our target clients. We understand what they are saying, what the sentiments are saying. We narrow it down to the action plan. We cultivate that into the programming part, and then come out with some beautiful fundamental technologies that can make the life very easy. Because we don't want any comparison, because to our competitors. So a client shouldn't say that, okay, X brand is giving this and X brand. So we want to be, that's what in Hyatt we say something, that 0.5 version is greater than 1. So it's something that we need to conceive first, and then we can be aped. So with that, we want to move ahead in this field of AI. And it's very important to be agile way of thinking, like I said before, not to be status quo anywhere. You need to challenge your own, that today what you are best, tomorrow you can be superseded if you're not agile, if you're not thinking continuously how to evolve within the industry.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar. I've been given the time limit now. So I just want to ask all of you a very short question. Maybe each one of you can give your opinions on that. How can we, now, the world is moving to a new generation of tourists. The Gen Zs would be our next tourists. And till now, the experiential, the cultural, the sustainability, that's what Nepal was being known for, the nature and the people. But for Gen Z, they have been brought up in all digital environment only, the internet, everything digitalized. So how can Nepal market itself in front of the Gen Zs who are very much into veganism, plant-based food, and their thought process is very different than the present clientele that we are having. So how can Nepal move forward in this scenario? As well as if there is any other point that you want to add, kindly give your opinion on that one. Shall I start with Mr. Kumar itself? Then we can come to this.
Okay. First, it's very important that when we are in this market, we need to understand what the brand has to offer. So a hotel can have brands, and there can be many brands which has different promises. So maybe we need to have a brand concept of a brand story where various generations would like to connect themselves. That's where when we say that you need to have a platform where you say you need to connect in an eclectic platform. So we need to create that platform. Like for Hyatt, we have so many brands. Andaz is our lifestyle brand, which our owner, Mr. Saraf, launched it in India. We have Pak Hyatt, which people who are there for luxury, they can connect themselves. We have some adult brand called Ziva and Zilara, which is in the Caribbeans. So you have a set target client who goes there. So it's again very important, like when we move towards to facilitate inclusion and diversity that Hyatt is focusing on. We are focusing on even having our colleagues or how to handle and facilitate the guests from LGBTQ. So we are moving on all those directions when our thinkings are multifunctional. We understand their need, we write it out, we have a plan, we execute it, we integrate it. And it's very important when we integrate it, the importance is what at an execution level people are thinking, like a senior board of leadership committee, the last person understands that. And that's how the delivery to this Gen Z or any sort of guest is so seamless. And that's how you bring your brand equity. And that's where we pioneer the word brand clarity, brand integrity, manpower development, and sustainable profitability. So it's a chain. So that's my take on how we move to cater Gen Z and various section of guests with whom we are doing business. Thank you.
So I think as a tourism industry, we often jump into providing solution, what would Gen Z like to do, right? Like that's usually what we think. But I think it's very important that we think about the destination itself. If the destinations are not there, I don't think there will be any travelers. So I think it's very important the issues pertaining issues like climate change should be accounted when we talk about promoting it to another generation. Currently, we're working with Isimo to develop Thankuta as a tourism destination. We've been working with the local government. I think collaboration is a key. We have to save the destination, explore the new destination. Infrastructure is the key. Making things easy to travel is the key. But I think for Nepal, we do not need to change anything. We have rich culture, history, and that needs to be passed on to another generation. I think what Gen Z really like these days, when we even have this conversation with our cousin, niece, or nephew, I think everyone agrees with that. Storytelling is a key to selling everything. So I think we need to have the story, and the story comes from our culture. It's nothing we have to pretend. Involving local communities is important. Understanding who benefits is important, but equally important is who bears the cost. So I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuvikaji, for asking this question. I think Gen Z are super privileged. And I think that level of super consciousness also comes when you're privileged to that level. And not just Gen Z, but I see a lot of high net worth individuals are also very super conscious these days. And I think Nepal as a destination for this kind of market segment is very ideal. You know, conscious in terms of like climate conservation, nature conservation, culture conservation. So a lot of aspect in that matter. So I think we are very blessed with biodiversity, nature, which is already there. So I think we just need to connect the dots in between and make it available without a lot of hassles, which again comes back to the accessibility and infrastructure. But I also see that, you know, if we have to take a transition from this low budget tourism, we're talking about big numbers, but we also want to talk about maybe lesser numbers, but like quality, you know, high quality tourists who can pay more. So rather than selling one product to 100 tourists, let's sell that to 10 tourists and make that amount within that, you know, limitation. So I think that's one thing that I feel that Nepal should take, that direction. Of course, Gen Z is the next great market segment for us, and obviously high net worth individuals as well, and that's my experience so far with that.
Thank you, Vika. I think let me speak on a macro level. Okay? Our whole exercise out here is, okay, and I would like to thank Capital, the journalist company, a magazine, who has taken an interest in tourism. So they have shown the importance, how important tourism in Nepal. Whatever market we go, how we go, we have to go according to the time. The marketing has to be a research-based, whether it is AI, artificial intelligence, e-marketing, going to the new generation, like the gentleman from the Hyatt says, okay, we'll identify our one clientele and hit on the target out there. What we have to understand is tourism alone can feed entire Nepal. यो नेपाललाई टुरिज्म इन्डस्ट्रीले पाल्न सक्छ त्यति हामीमा विश्वास हुनु पर्यो आत्मविश्वास हुनु पर्यो just because there are few hurdles ahead. त्यो hurdles देखेर हामी, we should not get back. Now, NTB should not focus. I don't agree. The former speaker has said, okay, NTB should go and try to make 10 bathrooms at Hanuman Roka. No. NTB should be focused on marketing based on intelligence. Marketing, marketing, marketing. And NTB should be left as the way it has been created. It is a completely autonomous body. It is not under anyone. It is completely dominated by the majority of private sector. That is how it should be. And it should be apolitical. It shouldn't be apolitical. One thing. Another thing is why we are talking about let's prioritize tourism. Why don't we say let's declare tourism as a national industry? Tourism le SARS, Ebola, Afghan war, all kind of problem it has faced. Earthquake, COVID, but we survived. हामीले यसलाई चाहिँ बचाएर राख्यौं र tourism industry दुब्लायो होला तर मरेन like other industry. So we must declare tourism as an industry, as a national industry. यसमा हामीले लोभ गर्नुहुन्न. अहिले फर्नुस् हाम्रो मन्त्रीज्यूले भन्नुभयो नि एउटा मान्छेले एउटा कुरा गर्यो भने त्यो राम्रो कुरा गरेछ उलाई थाहा छ तै पनि होइन मैले यो काम गरे भने चाहिँ हुन्छ अरूले गरे पनि हुन्न भन्नु भएन. त्यसकारण if we all get together र यसलाई चाहिँ के भने नेपालको टुरिज्मको सक्सेस भनेको यो जिम्मेवारी प्राइभेट सेक्टरलाई गभर्नमेन्टले दिएको हो. कहिले पनि गभर्नमेन्टले यसलाई इन्टरफियर गरेन. त्यसै कारण वी आर स्टिल सक्सेसफुल. र त्यही कारणले हाम्रो टुरिज्म बोर्ड बन्यो. यो टुरिज्म बोर्ड चाहिँ मन्जु पनि आएको भएर म फेरि दोहोऱ्याउँछु यसलाई 100% अटोनोमस बनाउनु पर्छ. यसलाई चाहिँ कुनै पनि पोलिटिकल पार्टीले आफ्नो क्याडरहरू राखिदिने घुसाइदिने गर्ने होइन कि यो प्योर प्रोफेसनल प्राइभेट सेक्टरको मेजोरिटी भएको गभर्नमेन्टले ठुलो छाती राखेर दिएको हो. यसको बारेमा बोल्न मैले 10 वटा कन्ट्री गएँ. इन्डियामा भावे यो हुने थिएन. गभर्नमेन्टले नेपाली गभर्नमेन्टले उदारताका साथ ल प्राइभेट सेक्टर तिमीहरू चलाऊ भनेर दिएको. त्यसमा दोषी हामी पनि छौँ. हामीले चलाउन सकेनौँ. त्यसकारण लेट अस फोकस अन मार्केटिङ. एउटा चाहिँ के भने रिसर्च बेस्ड मार्केटिङ र हामीले कनेक्टिभिटी चाहिँ के भने जसरी भए पनि युरोपसित कनेक्सन चाहियो र के भने सिभिल एभिएसनले अब अर्थमन्त्री हुँदाखेरि यहाँ अगाडि हुँदाखेरि यो यसको पनि चान्स लिइहाल्नु. खालि एयरपोर्टको मात्र फाइदा हेर्नु भएन. हाम्रो टोटल कफरमा कति पैसा आउँछ त टुरिज्मबाट. यदि हामीले एउटा 4 वटा चाहिँ प्लेनलाई चाहिँ भैरवामा सबै कुरा सित्तै दिएर चाहिँ 2 वर्ष दियौँ भनेर हामीले गऱ्यौँ भने टुरिज्म हैज अ very big and bright future. Yuvika, thank you.
Thank you, Vasant uncle. Our times is up. I just want to know, सबै छलफलको चाहिँ एउटा निष्कर्ष निकाल्छु. जस्तै कि हामीहरूको यो पास्ट लेसन्सहरू चाहिँ नेपाल जहिले पनि एसियामा पायोनियरै थियो टुरिज्म इन्डस्ट्रीमा. लाइक अर्लियर सेड हामीहरूले चाहिँ कन्जर्भेसन टुरिज्म, वाइल्ड लाइफ टुरिज्म, राफ्टिङ, एडभेन्चर टुरिज्म, एक्सपिडिसन्स, कल्चरल टुरिज्म यो सबैमा नै हामी नेपालमा पहिला अघि नै थियौँ. र यो अघि हुँदाखेरि जस्तो कि हामीहरूले जस्तो वसन्त अङ्कलहरू जस्तोले चाहिँ स्ट्यान्ड अलोन डेस्टिनेसन भनेर नेपाललाई चिनाउन सकेको थियो हाम्रो पहिलाको पुस्ताले. पहिला हामीले जहिले पनि अरू कन्ट्रीसँग मर्ज भएर आफ्नो प्याकेजेसहरू सेल गर्थ्यौँ भन्दाखेरि नेपालले चाहिँ स्ट्यान्ड अलोन डेस्टिनेसन भनेर आफूलाई उपाउन सक्नु मात्र होइन कि हामीले अरू डेस्टिनेसन्सहरूलाई पनि आफूसँग मिलाएर सेल गर्न थाल्यौँ यहीँको ट्राभल एजेन्ट्सहरूले. भन्दाखेरि यस्तो राम्रो र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो इभन जिडिपीमा कन्ट्रिब्युसन पनि हाई नै थियो. अहिले कस्तो सुन्नमा आएको छ भन्दाखेरि टुरिज्मले जिडिपीमा कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्दैन भनेर हाम्रो पार्लियामेन्टमा पनि डिस्कसन्स हुन्छ अरे. जसले गर्दाखेरि टुरिज्मलाई चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले त्यति के अरे राम्ररी चाहिँ यसलाई पोषण गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने नसोचेको भन्ने पनि हामीले लबिङ गर्दाखेरि पार्लियामेन्टेरियनहरूसँग कुरा गर्दाखेरि सुन्नमा आएको थियो। अन्त गभर्मेन्टले जम्मा 3% जिडिपीलाई दिन्छ भनेको छ भने इन्टरनेसनली 6.7% आएको छ। तर यति मात्र होइन कि हाम्रो टुरिज्म इन्डस्ट्री हस्पिटालिटी इन्डस्ट्रीले चाहिँ इनडाइरेक्ट वेमा पनि इकोनोमीमा कसरी राम्रो असर पारिरहेको छ त कतिजनालाई इम्प्लोइमेन्ट दिएको छ, रोजगारी यही टुरिज्मबाट नै पाउने हो। हामीले कुनै पनि र मटेरियल्सहरू युज नगरिकन इन्भाइरोमेन्टलाई असर नपारिकन सस्टेनेबल वेमा र आफ्नो कल्चरलाई पनि प्रिजर्भ गर्ने तरिकाले चाहिँ यो टुरिज्म नै एउटा इन्डस्ट्री हो जसबाट चाहिँ नेपाल चाहिँ अघि बढ्न सक्छ। र त्यति मात्र होइन कि हामीले फ्युचरमा अघि नै भनेको छ रिसर्च बेस्ड मार्केटिङ स्ट्राटेजिज, त्यसको लागि हामीसँग राइट डेटा गभर्मेन्टले प्रोभाइड गरिदिनु पर्ने हुन्छ। हामीले अहिले जुन 12 लाख टुरिस्ट आयो भनेको छ त्यसमा कति एनआरएन्स छ, कति बिजनेस पर्पजको लागि आउनुभएको छ, कति डिप्लोमाट्स हुनुहुन्छ र कति टुरिस्ट पर्पजको लागि आउनुभएको छ। त्यो हामीले सेग्रिगेट गरिदियो भने त्यो टार्गेट अडियन्सलाई चाहिँ हामी प्राइभेट सेक्टरले चाहिँ त्यसलाई नै फोकस गरेर मार्केटिङ गर्नलाई चाहिँ हामीसँग चाहिँ एटलिस्ट टुल्सहरू हामीले युटिलाइज गर्न सक्थ्यो। अहिले डेटा नै रङ छ भने हामी कसरी अगाडि बढ्दैछौँ त भन्दाखेरि फर्स्टमा गभर्मेन्टले चाहिँ रिसर्च र डेटामा नै इम्फोसाइज गर्नुपर्ने र फ्युचरमा अघि यहाँ डिस्कसन भएको छ इन्टरनेसनल एआई टुल्सहरू आइरहेको छ। एआई टुल्सहरूबाट चाहिँ हामीले डेटालाई क्यालकुलेसन गर्ने सर्टर टाइम मेन्यू डेभलप गर्न सक्छ, कस्टमर सेटिस्फ्याक्सन जान सक्छ, आफ्नो रेभेन्यू मोडल्सहरूलाई यसलाई युटिलाइज गर्न सक्छौँ। र भन्दाखेरि त्यो सबै कुरालाई हामीले फ्युचरमा हुने टेक्नोलोजी, हाम्रो मार्केटिङ स्ट्राटेजी र हामीसँग भएको अहिलेको गहनाहरू जुन कल्चर र नेचर छ हामीसँग त्यसलाई नै हामीले राखेर हामी टुरिज्ममा अगाडि बढ्न सक्छौँ जस्तो लाग्छ। र सबै प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई थ्याङ्क यू सो मच फर बिङ पार्ट अफ दिस प्यानल एन्ड क्यापिटल नेटवर्कलाई पनि थ्याङ्क यू फर इन्भाइटिङ अल अफ अस। थ्याङ्क यू द अडियन्स।
हजुर धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद हाम्रो प्यानलिस्ट र मोडरेटरलाई। र कृपया यति बेला म एउटा ग्रुप फोटोको लागि अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई। एन्ड यसमा हामीले सस्टेनेबिलिटी जस्तै कुराहरू र सक्सेस स्टोरिज र साथसाथै क्राइसिसलाई कसरी अपर्च्युनिटी, रोड कनेक्टिभिटी र टुरिज्म पोलिसी जस्ता कुराहरू अगाडि बढेको थियो भने डिजिटल मार्केटिङ अब नेक्स्ट ट्रेन्ड कसरी हुनसक्छ र जेनजीलाई हामीले कसरी इन्कर्पोरेट गर्न सक्छौँ भनेर रहेको थियो। यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। हाम्रो मोडरेटर युविका भण्डारीज्यू, प्यानलिस्ट बसन्तराज मिश्राज्यू, आशिष कुमारज्यू, प्रभा गौतमज्यू र आयुषा प्रसाईजीको लागि एकचोटि जोरदार ताली फेरि पनि।